Hello and welcome to round 6. Our players started playing a little early, so I'm just still fixing all of the graphics. But yeah, this is a win and in for top 8. The winner of this match can very likely, like almost 100%, draw in the next round. You are not Joe. This is Francisco Vargas. There we go. Much better. Make his name a little bigger too. A little bigger. Live video editing, boys. Alright, so we have a fetch shock into a breeding pool, into a ancient stirrings on Wendelboe's side, and then we had a turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer, and over here we have a turn 2 Ratchet Bomb. Ooh, a Thought-Knot Seer on turn 3. Quite strong. Alright, so we have Francisco is on Black-White Eldrazi, aka Black-White Death and Taxes. Looks like he has a pretty strong hand. Minus colored sources, though, for his Path to Exile. Looks to have a Wasteland Strangler, a Smasher, a Tidehole Sculler, a Path to Exile, a Thought-Knot Seer, and a Cavern. So looks that he's going to take the Thought-Knot Seer with the Thought-Knot Seer. And then Ancient Stirrings. Finds a Drowner of Hope. Smashes 4/3. This this Ratchet Bomb might be a little slow. It'll eventually kill something, but not great. Now he can play a Cavern into Wasteland Strangler, and Wasteland Strangle the Matter Reshaper, but that does trigger the Matter Reshaper, putting Wendelboe closer to his Drowner. So he is going to Wasteland Strangler. Oh, it's exiled card an opponent controls. Its processing does not work the way I thought it does, so he can just play this as a 3/2. So it's actually pretty mediocre here. Wendelboe will shock. Down to 15. And play his Drowner. Making 2 Scions. He goes sack tap with the Drowner ability, and then attacks for 7. This is opponent to 10. So I missed an earlier attack. Thought-Knot Seer, target you. That's gonna happen. So, ooh, oh yeah, no, this game's over. We have another Drowner, a Eldrazi Sky Spawner, and a land. So Wendelboe can, yeah, no matter what he takes, he can make another Scion. He can tap down one of his 2 creatures. Yep. And Francisco sees this and concedes. So Chris up 1-0 over Francisco. Good old Wendelboe. Great guy. Level 2. One of the few level 2s in New Hampshire. Quality shirt. Can't complain much about that. Francisco, also a pretty darn good player. Local grinder. Still putting up pretty good results with Black-White Eldrazi here. I actually think this is not, based on what I've seen of this list, I don't actually think this is the Eldrazi Texas list. This is very similar to the old style Black-White Eldrazi lists, minus the Thalia Leonin Arbiter package. It looks to be he's looking to just play a mid-range Smasher, Matter Reshaper, Wanderer, Path to Exile matchup. And then, of course, Chris on the classic Ban Eldrazi deck that's been around since the banning of Eye of Ugin. Ban Eldrazi was the first variation of Eldrazi to pop up, because the addition of green was the natural thought process to ramp you past turn 1, because now that you don't have 8 soul lands, you only have 4. But it's still allowed for explosive potential if, with a turn 1 Noble Hierarch into a turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer off of a temple. Also allowed you to play Ancient Stirrings, which allows you to continue the consistency of the deck, while still playing all of the great cards that were in the original blue-white variant of Eldrazi that was so popular near the end of Eldrazi Winter. Of course, the Eldrazi decks aren't quite as degenerate as they were back then. There's not horrible Eldrazi mirrors that end in each opponent staring at worships and trying to Thought-Knot Seer flicker with a Displacer in order to end the game via their opponent drawing out. Looks like Wendelboe staring at a pretty good hand. I see a Temple, Thought-Knot Seer, and a Ceremonious Rejection, and a land. Ooh, draws a Smasher. Shocks. Does he? Just attack for 2. Very aggressive. Oh, he had double Temple, so he went with the turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer, much like the days of old. Alright, so what we have here, we have a Fulminator Mage, a Thought-Knot Seer, an Inquisition, a Thought-Knot Seer, an Inquisition, and a Eldrazi Temple. Francisco has had a lot of hands that just have not had much colors. Takes a Thought-Knot Seer, because that's one of the few spells he might be able to play soon. Ooh, draws the Concealed Courtyard. Alright, that certainly turns his deck on. Goes for an Inquisition. Reveals Ceremonious Rejection. 4 lands and a Smasher. So, wow, a 3rd Temple. He just gets to play Smasher. This is the old style degeneracy of these Eldrazi decks. Just going Temple, Temple, land, attack with Smasher, and a Thought-Knot Seer. It really doesn't get much better than this. Temple, Smasher. Attack you for 9. Put you to 11. He doesn't even need more cards. This is good enough. Alright, so Name Eldrazi, cast Thought-Knot Seer, trigger, target you, show you nothing. Show you 4 lands. Untap, draw a card. Finds an Ancient Stirrings, which is that's just ridiculous. That's just silly. Wendelboe thinking about his line here, thinking about what land he wants to play into this Ancient Stirrings. He's going to go with a Windswept Heath, put himself to 17. Probably going for a basic here. He has a lot of land in his hand. Basic Forest. He's probably going to just look for another Smasher. Or really a Smasher or a Thought-Knot Seer. Either is quite good here. Smasher is the best because it just actually basically ends the game. Right. Look at the top 5. Ooh, an Endbringer. Oh man, that's also quite good. Finds Endbringer, casts Endbringer. Go attacking with the Smasher. Possibly the Thought-Knot Seer too, but probably just the Smasher. Because a trade isn't great for him. It really doesn't do much for him in where a chump block does everything for him. He's thinking about it. He's going to go with a multi-attack, put his opponent to 6. Yes, the life totals mattered more to him, which makes sense. His opponent's really on the back foot here. Though Lingering Souls is found on the other side of the table. It's quite good. Is it good enough is the question. Because it's good against blocking Endbringer, but not so good at blocking a Smasher. Just tramples over. Mana for a Souls. Play 2 Spirits. And pass. Wendelboe will untap. Draw a card. Find a Smasher. Wow. Wow. Woo! Yep. Yep, that's it. Wendelboe with the top decks, coming in for 5-1, most likely locked for top 8. All depends on his breakers, really, but I doubt that he'll have to play out the final round. All right, so that was round 6. One more round to go, and we get to decide our top 8. And I will have some names for you that are locked after this round. Thank you for tuning in, and be sure to catch us next round for the final round of Swiss.